Hello, everyone. Indeed. All right. Muhammad Mike Ali grew up in the Bay Area after his family immigrated to the United States from Fiji. He turned to a gang life in 1990s as protection from being bullied in school. He spent much of his teens and early 20s between juvenile hall, jail, and prison before being detained for deportation at the age of 24. Mike experienced long stretches of isolation known as Secure Housing Unit, or the SHU, in a privately run immigration detention center in Elroy, Arizona. This excerpt is from his story, details what solitary was like. Send me back to Fiji. Let me say this before I start. A lot of prison is acronyms, so the SHU is Security Housing Unit. Send me back to Fiji. I first came to the SHU for fighting in 2003, right after I got to Elroy. I got into it with a Southern Mexican from LA. I did 2 months before I got out. I went in and out of SHU, but eventually they put me in SHU indefinitely because of a riot, and they said I called the shots. They thought I set it up, but they couldn't prove it. I was like, I didn't say nothing, man. It was a fight, then the riot started. And I was just sitting back and watching. At Elroy, in the SHU, they got you alone in a cell, and you got to learn to live with this now. You're confined in a 6x9 cell with a solid steel door that has a metal screen in it so the guards could look inside and see what you're doing. You get 3 meals a day, you get yard for 1 hour 3 times a week, then a shower. Every time you move, you gotta get shackled up. In order to survive, you gotta structure yourself. You gotta get up, work out, take a shower, pray, eat, stay up all night, and sleep all day, because when you're up all night, you pass the days quicker. A lot of people are backwards. You gotta get a couple of good books, you gotta read, you gotta keep yourself busy. Soon as you're thinking, oh man, shit, I ain't got nothing to do. Now your mind's wondering what's going on in the streets. Now your mind's wondering what your wife's doing. Now your mind's wondering how your kids doing. How's your mom and dad doing, right? Soon as you start thinking more, you start stressing. As soon as you start stressing more, you start tripping out more. Then you start tripping out more. Now the walls are tripping on you, right? You start getting delusional. You start seeing all this shit that's not there because your mind's fucking running wild. You can't sleep because you close your eyes, but your mind is still running. You think you see shit. I was seeing a young girl running around the hallways of the pod. It went on a couple of weeks. I look out and see her running around at night. I asked if other people saw that. They said no. At one point, I thought there was a dude in the cell next to me looking at me. I asked about him. The guys in the units, I asked about him. And the guys in the other cells were like, no, nobody's in there. You're tripping. This happened to me, but thank God I got it under control. But it happened. It happened. Being in the SHU is like being a dog tied to a pole with a 10-foot chain. Imagine leaving a dog like that for months at a time. He could eat, drink, shit, take a shower and everything, but just in that space right there, 10 feet. He can't go anywhere besides 10 feet, Imagine what he's going through for 30 days, 2 months, 8 months, 10 months. Imagine. A lot of people died in the SHU. The medical attention was horrible. One Fijian guy I knew had high blood pressure and it wasn't treated, and he had a heart attack. People cut their wrists with razor blades, hung themselves. There was mentally ill people who weren't medicated. I saw 2 people straight up lose their minds and go crazy. They fucking just lost it, dude. If you're not strong-minded and you don't have that strong will, you're screwed. Eventually, that cell is gonna get to you. is going to start eating you up and making you crazy.